Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, hi, my name is Haley and you're watching Between the Pages. So I have another book review for you, and it's not as mean or as ranty as Carry On, but it's also not the best book I've ever read, and that is The Night Country by Melissa Albert. This is the sequel to The Hazelwood, which I believe I gave a 4-star. I gave this one a 3-star because there were things I liked and there were things I didn't like about it. So let's get into it. So this takes place about a year or two after the Hazelwood. So there's a bit of a time jump. Alice is trying to figure out how to be human now that she no longer is tied to her story or the hinterland in any way. A bunch of the stories have started to leave the hinterland because after Alice broke free of her story, all the other stories realized, oh, hey, I can do that too, and they came over into our world. So the main plot that we start off with is stories start dying. They're being murdered, and pieces and bits and pieces of them are being taken for whatever reason. They don't know what it is at first. And there's a reason why I said to read Tales from the Hinterland before you read The Night Country, because there's a lot of stories or characters in this novel that we meet in Tales from the Hinterland, and I was like, okay, I realize that they're going by like some human name, but like I know who they are. I know what their stories are. I know how their story ends. I know their personality based on reading these stories and things of that nature. So stories start dying, and then the hinterland dies. And then I think it's about a quarter of the way through, and we're with Ellery. Ellery Finch is still alive, which I loved because I love Ellery. He's not quite the starry-eyed fanboy that we know from the Hazelwood. Since being stuck in the Hazelwood and living on the edge of stories and everything. At the end of the Hazelwood, we find out that Ellery has been basically traveling different fairy tale worlds. So it's kind of like a multiverse type thing going on. And we figure that out in the last chapter. So what we do is we kind of back up to the end of the Hazelwood, or right before the end of the Hazelwood, before Alice realizes that Ellery's, traveling different fairy tale worlds. And he meets a girl named, I believe it's Io. I can't remember now because it's been a little while since I've read it. And she tells him a story of a night country, and hence the title. When I read that, I was like, okay, kind of like Cinnamon Sins, roll credits. When I realized, I was like, oh, okay. So there's a story called The Night Country, and through everything, we realize that the spinner is trying to create a night country, which is basically how she created the hinterland. She created a night country is basically a realm or a door that you can open up, and anything you think or anything you say basically gets created. So that's how the spinner created the hinterland. And after the hinterland died, the spinner was like, I can't have this. I am a storyteller. I am a creator of worlds. I need to create. So she basically hires Io. I think that's her name. If I am wrong, I will put it somewhere. I'm pretty sure her name's Io because I kept thinking of Clash of the Gods. Is that, yeah, Clash of the Gods or Wrath of the Gods? I can't remember. It's irrelevant. It's irrelevant, or ignore that tangent. So the spinner basically hires Io to bring Ellery Finch to her, because if you've read or listened to The Boy Who Didn't Come Home, you realize that Ellery and the spinner kind of had like a standoff, and she's like, I hate you because you helped Alice break her story, and now all my other stories are leaving, so it's your fault. I want revenge on you specifically. So she knows that he and Alice come from the human world, so he wants to draw all of them together. so the spinner can kill Alice and use her blood and everything to create this monster that's going to open a night country for her to create a new storybook land and write a bunch of new stories and stuff like that. So I would say that if you love this series, consume everything. Like, listen to the short stories, listen to the novellas, read the Tales from the Hinterland, because I feel like it just enhances everything. Kind of like the Night, or the Folk of the Air trilogy by Holly Black. I have read every single novella, listened to every single short story. I'm just like, I need more of this world because it just enhances everything, which is good. I feel like novellas and short stories should do that. They shouldn't just exist just to exist. It should actually help you understand the source material better. So I would say, in order, it should be The Hazelwood, Tales from the Hinterland, The Boy Who Didn't Come Home, and then The Night Country. Because I feel like if you read it or listen or consume it in that order, I feel like it makes a lot more sense and it enhances this. So it's basically a dual timeline, and that was the part that I didn't like, because Alice's plot line is basically murder mystery, which I don't like. It's not my thing. I don't read mysteries. I don't watch thrillers. I don't read thrillers. I don't watch a bunch of like whodunits. It's not my cup of tea. I just don't like it. So it was really disjointed, because I feel like when we were in Alice's point of view and like on the murder mystery, like who's killing the stories type thing, I didn't care. I just wanted to get back to Ellery, because he's having like fairy tale hijinks and shenanigans, and I don't know, I guess Ellery's reminded me more of The Hazelwood, like the first book, where it was a fairy tale journey and we had all these tropes and things that we had to hit and story points and stuff like that. Whereas the murder mystery part of this book, I didn't care. I was like, I have no attachment to any of these characters except Sophia, I think, no. I don't know. One of those two, I think it's either Sophia or Daphne. Oh, it's Sophia, because Sophia is Isla, the girl who waited for death, I think, is what her story is called. She was the one who would like steal people's souls, and then Death is like, guess what? Since you want to be me so badly, you don't get to die. And so she ends up being killed, and she ends up dying anyway. But that was the only one I cared about, because she was really fleshed out, whereas all the other characters were not. Like Hansa was killed, and Sophia was killed. I cared about her. And there was another two characters that I was like, who are these people? I don't know who they are, therefore I don't care, because they weren't really fleshed out as characters. But yeah, that was my review for The Night Country by Melissa Albert, and I guess I will see you guys later.